2006, the Board of Abbotsford Community Services decided to establish a series of acknowledgements and awards for community builders, people who usually had some contact with our organization, but more, who gave of themselves and their time and sometimes their money, but whatever resources they had to really make a difference in the community. And we've had some wonderful recipients of that award. Well, Walter Peckhouse, one of them, I see he's here tonight, and there may be some other previous recipients that I'm missing too. But we have two awards to give tonight proudly, and I would like to ask David Smith to come up and make the first presentation. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Well, indeed, mine is a pleasant task. And when we met 50 years ago or so, I did not expect to be doing something like this. We were at university back in the late 50s, early 60s, raising a young family. Ted and Arlene and Marcy and I each had young families. And that's when we first met. Arlene had already had her, I think you got a teaching degree? Yes, you already had it, I think, by the time I met you. But her husband, Ted, was in theology and a colleague of mine at Union College. And so over those years, we got to know one another and had social time together and had crying time together and all these things that you do when you're colleagues at university. And then Ted was ordained in '66, and the family moved here to Abbotsford. And there was some sense that they were going to start a new congregation of the United Church out here in Abbotsford. And so I was on the staff that came out and started talking about that possibility. Arlene was one of the people who left Trinity United Church to begin the congregation at Gladwin. And I don't think a lot of people know that. She was, of course, a teacher and already heavily involved in the community in many, many different ways, which I hope Jenna will say something about.
Arlene actually was a board member here at Abbotsford Community Services in the early 80s for 3 years. And that's just one minor role that she played in the community. Arlene is, she does step meetings, not meetings, but she takes step, you'll be able to tell me the proper term. She works at Peardenville House. She's on the board, or has been on the board, and very involved with hospice. From early on. She's a volunteer, a member, and a past chair of the University Women's Club. She's been a part of the Spiritual Care Advisory Committee at what was then known as the MSA Hospital. And the list does go on, and I'm not going to tell you all of that. Just know that she is an amazing woman. And when I talked earlier about having that conversation with a donor who loves to have tea at Tracy Cakes, it was Arlene Kropp. I often go to Arlene and just bounce ideas off of her. She's amazing. She listens, and she is so caring and so compassionate. The other thing that a lot of people don't know about Arlene is that she actually was the key individual who started kindergarten within the Abbotsford School District. She was very instrumental in getting kindergarten going here in Abbotsford. So her scope of expertise and compassion is wide and varied. And Arlene, come on up. Yes, you will take those on.
Wow.
The real funny thing about the typo, about the technology degree, Arlene doesn't even own a computer. And she gets a little miffed nowadays because she wants to write letters to the editor, but they won't print them anymore because she sends them handwritten. But that's the beauty of a woman like Arlene. I always get handwritten cards. And the other thing I wanted to mention was that day that I had tea with you and I talked about this whole Stand Up for Youth idea, honest to goodness, 2 days later, I got a handwritten card in the mail with the very first check for a donation to the campaign, and I hadn't even rolled it out yet. So thank you so much for everything.
Well, Janice said I could say a few words, and I'm only going to say a very few words. I believe that we're not meant to go alone in this world. We live in community, and we need to be here for each other. And however we do that, in big ways and small ways, I think being here tonight and hearing this wonderful stuff, and got a connection with Elizabeth too. When I was about 19, I think, 19 or 20, I spent a summer in Bella Coola with Elizabeth's parents, but that was before Elizabeth was born. I was doing. I said, "Were you around in 1950?" And she said, "No, she wasn't born the year that she wasn't there yet." But you have older brothers and sisters? Yeah, because I knew there were some kids. Yeah, and so I spent a summer there, and that was before you went there, right?
It was.
Yeah.
It was. I didn't go there till 67.
67.
So that must have been.
It was 57, I think.
Was it?
57, 56, yeah. Anyway, long time ago. So thank you for all the work that you people do. It's tremendous, just tremendous. So thank you, and thank you very much.
The next person that is going to introduce our second Community Builder Award is Dave Murray. I'm going to call on Dave.
About 6 years ago, I took my wife on a date to Vancouver. And along the way, I said, we're going to just stop for a few minutes and we're going to visit this place. And the place was at Hastings in Maine. And it was a dental clinic run by Dr. Alex Ewell, or that was started by Dr. Alex Ewell. And he had called me up and he said, you know, I got this crazy idea of starting a dental clinic. And I want you to come and look at this one in Vancouver. And so to this day, my wife talks about this crazy date we went on to Hastings in Maine and visited this dental clinic. So on that day, I was told of this crazy dentist in Abbotsford who was even nuttier than Dr. Ewell, that was interested in starting something here in the Fraser Valley. And so he put me in touch with Dr. Dyck. And Dr. Dyck and I met, and we began to dream and to look at the Abbotsford Food Bank building of what was possible. And we started off with one little room in the food bank, and we thought, well, one chair and one little thing. And before we ended up, we were 4 chairs, and half the top floor of the food bank was gone, right? And he was wise because he solicited his father and his brother to do all the construction work. And so almost 5 years to this day, we opened the Abbotsford Community Services Food Bank free dental clinic, the only one of its kind in existence that's purely free, in that we do not charge back anything to anybody. And so the dentists, the hygienists, and everybody else donate their time. Dr. Dyck is an amazing person, a person of faith as well. He is highly involved in his congregation that he attends, and looks after a lot of the care groups that are a part of that congregation, and therefore cares for a lot of people in his life, in his home. He's traveled around the world to do dentistry in countries that need it a lot more than we do. He's a great father. He's generous. He's compassionate, and we are so blessed to have him in our community and a part of our community. And he is the lead dentist at our dental clinic and has been the driving force behind everything that we do there. And so, Dr. Dyck, why don't you come? And so we just want to say thank you for all that you do in our community. We have some little gifts for you, but do you want to just share whatever on your heart? Don't be long because I got to go.
I know. Since Dave has to leave, I'll keep this very short. First of all, I'm not very comfortable being up here accepting this award because a clinic like that can do nothing without a bunch of different people. And from electricians, plumbers, like Dave said, my dad and my brother, all the volunteer hygienists, dental assistants, Lala who works there, all these people, you know, sure, one person might have an idea or a dream, but it doesn't go anywhere without everybody. So that's who I'm accepting this on. I'm accepting this on behalf of all the volunteers that have helped get this clinic going and are keeping it going. So thank you very much.
Now you can give these to Carrie, right?
They'll look good in the office too.